Right, hello everybody.
Good evening.
Hello. Kind of did that a bit like a Muppet there, didn't I? That was weird. Ignore me. I don't know what happened there. Can you all put your phones on silent for me, please?
I know how to turn mine off now.
Oh, did you learn?
I didn't know how to do it. My son's changed it. I can turn it off now.
Huh?
I can't bring mine because I can't turn it off.
I can't figure out how to turn mine off, honestly. It's all new. It used to be the power button. Now it's not the power button because that turns the assistant on, and now I don't know what to do with any of it.
Yeah.
So now I just yell at it.
Mine was
and
a
just
little
hope for the
knob
best.
up here. He said, that's when you turn it off. I'm up there.
I
But
used
he's
to
changed
put
it
on
to the
flame
power
mine.
button because he used to work in a phone shop, so he knows what to do.
Do you want to fix mine?
Live and learn, you see. Sitting here listening now. No. Huh?
I'm
Not the
supposed
one that lives with me, the one that doesn't.
I'm supposed to be the go-to for gadgets in my house, and I'm just like gadgets and me don't mix. We're just talking about how I can't even wear a proper watch. I can wear this one, but I can't wear a proper watch because it just fits on me. Nightmare. Right, are we all good?
Yes.
We're all good. We have got the lovely Effie with us again tonight. It's very nice to see her.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Would you mind doing an opening in whatever way you wish for me tonight, please?
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
must not stand on the tablecloth, otherwise I'll have it down right.
I tucked it away as much as I could.
Good. Be good enough to join me in the opening prayer, please. Divine Eternal Creator, thank you, Spirit. I knew this was going to happen. You know, I should have by the lights. Divine Eternal Creator, guides and angels, thank you for bringing each and every one of us safely to this thy sanctuary. We give thanks for the sunshine that we have. We appreciate that the rain will come, but we will moan anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We give thanks for the men and women in uniform, whether they were military or sort of community, who have actually done and continue to do quite a bit of work over and above to help out of the National Health Service. We would ask too that the animal kingdom is continued to be, wild animals are checked over. We are finally husbanding it so much better, about time as well. And give thanks for the pets that give such unconditional love to their owners. We would also ask, dear Lord, that when the leaders of the world gather together, that they do continue a dialogue towards peace. Because if an invasion, if that is, to me, it looks like a war. I hate to think what a war would be. So if they keep talking, maybe it won't happen. Generally speaking, we will leave this service in your hands. Amen.
Thank you. My phone's on silent. That was not a phone call. That was them messing me about, pressing my watch and doing the find phone function on it when I just said I don't have issues with this one.
They were having fun tonight.
They are. They're messing about with the lights. They're in a mood. They're in a mood tonight. Right, I'm just going to read out the healing book, and then I've got a little inspirational reading-y type thingy for you all. So, Great Spirit, as we feel the wheel of the year turn, we see the leaves beginning to change, feel the chill in the air. We did have when I wrote this. We start to prepare ourselves for the darker nights and the shorter days. And remember to count our blessings, knowing we are in a better situation than some people. But for those who need it, we send healing, love and light in the form of the energy we raise here tonight, going to those listed below and those who cannot be named. The healing list is Darren, Caledonia, Michael, Seffi, Clive, Sylvia, Christina, Craig, Katie, Scott, Sue, Robert and Sam. So if you can just visualise them in a bit of a better situation than they are now and just covered in love and light and good wishes, that'd be wonderful. Lovely, thank you very much. Right, it's just a little story I picked up here. And this is just one of these little stories that shows how spirit has plans for us all, and how even at your lowest form, Spirit can be there for you to help. My head pounded with another hangover as my phone went off in my pocket. It was my mum, Bernadette. Peter, I've been so worried, she cried. I've been calling and wondering where you were. She had every right to be worried. It was 2016 and my life was falling apart. My relationship had hit the rocks. My dad, James, was ill with cancer and I was stuck in a factory job that I hated. Now I found myself turning to drink and drugs to try and numb the pain. Poor Dad was worried too. It's okay to go. I promised to look after Mum, I whispered one day as he lay in bed looking frail. Truth was, I could barely look after myself. All kinds of things had been happening too. I woke up 5 nights in a row to see 1:11 a.m. on the clock. And whenever I bought anything at the corner shop, the total until would always be 4:44. It doesn't mean anything, I tried to tell myself. My maternal nan, Sarah, had been a tea leaf reader, but I didn't believe in anything like that, neither did Mum. Then one night, Mum was at Dad's bedside when I heard 3 big bangs on the ceiling. I went running up the stairs and then whoosh, a gust of energy engulfed me, nearly knocking me backwards. Pushing through it, I burst into the room. Dad's gone, Mum wept, collapsing on my shoulder. I was banging to get your attention. I was devastated, yet I also felt consumed by a strange sense of peace. The energy I felt before was still there. But as time passed, reality hit me and my depression worsened. I soon found myself single, living alone, and just about making ends meet. I'd hit rock bottom. Why is no one helping me? I shouted out in desperation as I lay in bed one morning. Only silence followed. That's when I decided that I didn't want to live anymore. I was going to go into the bathroom and end my life right there and then. But as I went to get up, I suddenly felt the mattress sink down. Turning round, I froze. There was Dad, dressed in a pair of smart trousers, looking about 20 years younger. He smiled before fading away. The shock snapped me to my senses. Had that been real, or was it all in my head? Either way, I realised that if I couldn't go through with my plan, I had to sort my life out. If not for me, then for my mum and my kids. That night, as I thought about what I'd seen, the flame of my candle, which someone had given me in Dad's memory, suddenly grew huge and really bright. Warmth filled the room. This is all real, I gasped. There was no denying it. Amazed, I began reading up on angels and spirits, learning that triple numbers like 111 and 444 were signs from them. But whenever I went online to research it all, an advert for a psychic show kept popping up. Go away, I yelled, scrolling past it. Then it hit me. Was this a sign that I should go? I called the box office, thinking it would probably all be sold out. You're in luck, the lady said. We just refunded the last 2 tickets. It wasn't really Mum's thing, but I dragged her along anyway. Halfway through, the medium picked me out. Your dad, James, says that it really was him you saw that night, and that you need to carry on your spiritual journey. You never told me about that, Mum gasped afterwards. I've seen your dad too out of the corner of my eye. We hugged each other, overjoyed that we shared this amazing experience. After that, I got my life back on track, taking courses on how to connect with angels and spirits. I even began holding spiritual events to help others, which Mum would come to see. Whenever I was nervous beforehand, I'd feel Dad's hand on my shoulder in support. Now I'm called the Angel Man, and I do this all full time. Mum's my biggest support and I'm hers. I bring her shopping, take her out for meals and check in on her daily, just like I promised Dad. Everyone thought I'd end up in jail, but look at me now. So, just a nice little story about how even at your worst, your loved ones in spirit, they're always there for you. So that's me done rabbiting on. I'm going to pass you over to Effie to do what she wants
Thanks
to.
very much indeed. Pity I don't have something to read that.
It's fine, swan.
I mean, quite frankly, it is. I mean, what is it? A gift from an angel. Yes.
Yep.
Well, everybody will become aware of their own spirituality in their own time and in their own way. That was to me was completely foreign, because I hadn't any idea, neither was I particularly interested until I virtually retired before I wanted to deal with the spiritual aspect of my life. The fact that, yes, I can speak to and talk to the spirit world, that's because they were waiting for me to make up my mind to work with them. So and as we're having a bit of fun tonight, I don't know whether it's because you put this on me and that's enough to send them all off the thing, or the lights are all going to go out. But the last time I said that in a church, one half of the whole lights did go out and everybody screamed. And I said it was nothing to do with me.
Don't blame us, we didn't do it.
Exactly. So from that point of view, I don't know what you would like me to be actually saying. Everyone will experience their own spirituality in their own way. All we do as the teachers is to perhaps help people to become aware of what's happening around them and how to actually not necessarily control it, but to work with it more than anything else. And there are certain rules and regulations that, you can't stroll up to somebody in the supermarket and say, oh, by the way, you've got your grandmother standing beside you. Absolutely, they could easily drop dead standing doing that. You just don't do those sorts of things. And what's more, you do not then give out, when you're working on any sort of platform, personal information. Because again, you have a lot of people who might be incredibly interested in that sort of nugget of information. And I have seen there was one very, very well-known medium that he in fact did pick on a particular girl and went on and on to her. She kept saying it wasn't for her, it wasn't for her. And I'm getting mad. I'm sitting there listening to this, and I thought, if he doesn't stop now, I'm going to get up and go up there and tell him not to do that. Because although she was sitting behind me, the rest of her family was there. And there was obviously, she didn't want what was coming out to go to her, the family, and the friends. And he just could not get it through his head that this was not good enough. So he had words afterwards just to get that straightened out. Here, everything, you will sometimes realize when you're standing, probably doing something quite mundane, like peeling potatoes or stirring soup or something, and you get a feeling of somebody just walking past, and you turn, they're not there. It's only spirit beginning to knock on the door, if you like, of your consciousness to ask you, are you now ready to start talking with them? They can't interfere, they can't come across. You have to begin to make the steps of, I am interested, now let's see where it will take us. And I'm so saying, I think that's it for the moment. Yep. Do you wish me to remain standing?
You can, yeah. I've got nothing else to do.
It's only because the last service that I had, the chairperson said, I'll stop having to get up and down. I'll just tell you, just keep standing.
Well, you can sit down, do it if you want to.
No,
I don't mind what you do.
Yeah.
I'm chill.
I'm not tall enough to sit down. I don't have your height. Do you mind, man?
I stood next to a girl at work the other day, and she went, "You do realise that your legs are up to my armpits, don't you?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, that I'm making you feel very inadequate."
Right. Now to begin, if you like. For those of you who have never seen me work before, then it'll be a little bit different. Those who have seen, you can either leave now, if that's how you have it in mind. And by the exclusiveness of this evening's participant, of members of the public, I may be going around you twice, if not 3 times. And if I do, I will, once I've spoken to you and brought one through, you see, I don't remember. It's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do. So I would ask you, was it a man or a woman? And if you give me that, then I'll go ask the spirit world to bring one through of the other sex. See? My job is not to give you chapter and verse. I'm not here to give you a private reading. That's not how I work. It is not that I would be interested at all in doing it that way. I only do those when I'm doing coffee mornings or something like that. Also, as I said, I will not say anything that would embarrass you because it is still a public forum for the moment. And in so saying, I can hear my Lord saying, get on with it, will you, woman, and stop wittering on. May I come to you, madam? Thank you very much indeed. When I come to you, as I said, you can always refuse. You can always say no because you won't offend me. Let me just carry on. 3 no's and I'll go. So don't worry about that. But I ask, when I come to you, then I ask who's with you, right? And everybody, the look you are here, and there's a load of people, they're all sitting behind me at the moment. My guardian angel is here, controlling who comes forward. And I do have a lady who's coming in, and she's coming on a very, very strong family link to you. Is it like a mother love? Is your mother in the world of spirit? Mm-hmm. Right. This lady that I have with me was quite, she came over as being sort of fragile and delicate, but she was strong-willed. Yes, because she's standing here. She said, they didn't ever believe that, you see, and she heard everything she said. And a bit like you hear everything that people say around you as well, don't you? And this lady, she also had trouble with listening to gossip. simply because there were times when she felt she should interfere and go up to someone and say, you must stop doing that, but she knew she shouldn't do it. And she said, unfortunately, you have the same vibes at times as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes. What she's come through at the moment is on the fact that you haven't been sleeping very well either, apparently. And you have been dreaming quite a bit. Don't worry about the dreams. They're only merely the brain trying to relax you in this case, to get you to get some sleep, right? And also, I'm being told that you have been taking on quite a bit of, I'm going to use the word guidance. You have been giving guidance.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a great shame that some of the people around you don't listen to you, isn't it? And she tells me it's frustrating you as well.
Yeah.
However, you are coping very well with it. And if they'd only stop and think about it, they would benefit from it. So take her love. It's all right. Take her love and know that she's with you. Thank you. Thank you. May I come to the lady sitting? May I come to you, madam? All right, I'll come to you as well. I'll go to you. It's all right. It's all right. There's not enough of us here, you see. This is the moment. I have a gentleman coming through. In fact, he's walked up alongside me. He must stand close on 6 foot. And he's coming through on a very strong family link to you. I get a father link with him. Your father in the world of spirit?
Yes.
Cool. Had he a brother who was tall?
No,
Sorry, I can't hear you.
no, he's the only child.
Was it? Well, the gentleman that I have is coming through on a very strong family link to you, like a father, a very protective link. And he must be coming through from the family. All right. What they're coming through is that you have been, I'm getting the word, there has been difficulties around you recently. They're not giving me any precise sight at the moment, but I'm getting a sense of like a nervous tension.
The waiting game going on.
Oh, well, that's right. Okay, because this gentleman's telling me that it does seem to be a bit unfair what's happening, and you are finding it very difficult to level out and keep a steady breathing space almost. No?
I don't really understand that. No.
The gentleman, if you can't take him, I will ask who else is with him. Usually there will be someone else there. Is your mother in the world of spirit? Grandmother will be in the world of spirit. She wasn't any taller than me, was she? Right, the 5'4", thereabouts.
No, because I never knew them.
You didn't?
Probably, I think they were short.
Yeah.
Photographs.
Well, this lady knows the man, so he is related in some regard, right? So she's come along just simply to back him up. I'm rather getting at the moment that around you, if I say the word confusion, right, the atmosphere around you is constantly moving. That's what I'm sensing they're trying to get across. That makes your life that little bit more difficult to make plans. Yes. And in itself, it's beginning to give you almost feeling of you having to stand up, put your shoulders back, and take the world on face to face. Simply because it's not everything is in your control.
Yeah.
Right. They're here to just simply say you'll have to relax. And you haven't been sleeping very well either, apparently. If you can relax, then things will begin to smooth themselves out. We don't fortune tell, it's against the law. But generally speaking, they are watching the spirit world is alongside you, watching you. However, your energy can be very displaced at times at the moment. And that's not making life any easier for you. So I will leave that with you. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you now, madam? Thank you. I'm asking who's with you. And I'm having a lady who's coming alongside me. And again, I'm sensing like a mother figure. Grandmother. Well, it's the mother figure. And I have here a lady who is a very competent lady. She controlled the family very well as well. When she said sit down, it was a good idea to do so. And if she told you not to be so noisy, that equally was worthwhile paying attention to. This lady has come along because she tells me that she's giving me the sense for you as if it just recently there have been occasions when you felt a bit displaced. Yeah. Now this is very odd because she tells me that you're actually a very organized lady. You don't like to waste time. So this sense of displacement is disconcerting, let's put it that way. She's come through to tell you to relax on that because are you in circle by any chance? You're not. But you have considered mediumship, have you? Yes. It is this fact that you're getting more and more pressure almost on you to begin to look more deeply into the mediumship. And in a way, you're creating your own difficulties, right? So maybe it would be in your best interest to tell Spirit to back off for the moment, right? And leave you alone. You will come back when you're ready, right? Because otherwise, you have sometimes found, as she's telling me, that your energy levels have been way down. And if you were a car, their batteries would be flat at times. The spirit world don't want that, but they would like you to talk to them. So when you start to feel a little bit of pressure, tell them to back off, okay? And they will do. So take her love and know that she's with you. Thank you. Sir, may I come to you? Kind of you, thank you. You can say no, you won't offend me.
It's just him.
Is it? Yeah. Okay, well, I've asked who's alongside and who's coming through, and I'm getting the sense that this time there is a man coming through, and he's coming on. I'm lucky, they only really work with me on the family line. So from that point of view, I'm getting like a father figure for you. Is he in the world of spirit your father? Your grandfather then? Did he have a shed? Because he's suddenly talking about a shed, right? Because that was how he got away from the women. He liked women, but he wasn't that tolerant with them, was he? No. He's a bit like you. He said, it's come down the line. You can be very smart and very chatty with women, but if you didn't see them that often, you'd be quite happy as well, apparently. But I'm only giving you what he's giving me. So he had that sense of humor, did he not? Yes. And I'm also getting the feeling that he was very much a man's man as well. There's a lot of strength with him. And that you also have as well, apparently. Although you tend to have it like a light under the bushel. Therefore, that way, if you don't put yourself too far forward, you won't get called on all of the time. I know. They tell me all sorts of things, you see. And I'm cleaning it up as I'm giving it over. Yeah. I have, but the gentleman says, really, you've been on best behavior just recently. You've been very good. You've been listening.
Yes.
You have been listening. So that is considered as being very good. And he's very proud of you on that score. But when are you going to start to use your ability as well? You have? Yeah. Are you also a healer?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. And that is another aspect that maybe you want to be looking at a little bit more deeply, because you too have a quixotic personality and you do need to be able to relax at times. Calm down almost. Sorry?
Sometimes I've done that, I think I'll get up again.
Oh, you will always get up again. You're like a boxer. They can put you down, but you can't stay down. Anyway, they send their love to you, but they would like you to begin to give us a bit more thought to the healing aspect as well. Bless you. Thank you. May I come to you? Thank you. I do have another lady coming through for you. And again, we're about our height, the sort of 5 foot mark. She was quite elderly and quite frail before she passed over. Is it mother or is it grandmother I've got? Either, okay. I sense I have actually got mother, right? Mother was also very particular, was she not? She liked her cup and saucer, and she liked the table to be set up nice. And when people were sitting at the table, she didn't mind conversation, but she did not like any form of arguments. And I rather gather that basically in her life, she did prefer to be quieter rather than very noisy. Right? So from that point of view, she's come through just to say hello to you. You two have been dreaming quite a bit. Oh, well, that's not what she's telling me. Oh, well, remembering is a different matter. All right. She said that you have been dreaming, right? Which because you, in yourself, you have been looking to relax, right? And the spirit world is trying to do that for you, alongside with you, okay? Have you just recently developed some sort of dislike of something, or you can't, is it drink? You can't drink something? Becoming allergic to something?
Not allergic, but there's certain things that I'm not supposed to eat.
All right. That's what she's just simply said, mention that, because sometimes you can be a little bit wayward with it. Is that putting it gently? You play around with that sort of thing. Yeah. It's okay today, but not tomorrow, or wasn't yesterday. Yeah. She's just brought her love through to let you know that she is around you, although you do talk to her anyway, so that's not a problem. She's just said hello, and that's it. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you? Thank you. Good evening to you. I have a gentleman coming through, and he stands probably about 5'10". Quite a well-built man. He tells me he was quite handsome. He is, yeah. I will not argue with him on that score. Let's put it this way. And he's coming through on a very strong family link to you as well. I'm getting a sense this time like an uncle for you. Someone who was actually very active. And he's showing me a football, so I sensed that he might have liked to kick a football around. Not sure. Okay, but the fact that he was showing me kicking around, you must be doing and using an awful lot of energy at the moment. You must be here, there, and everywhere. And I've got a flight of stairs. I don't know if you happen to go up and down the stairs, but that's the level of energy I see being expended. He's come through to say, well, you'll have to calm down. But you like music, but you're not listening to your music anymore. No. He said, if she listened to her music, it would make life so much easier. And I'm now getting the smell of paint. Are you considering decorating? All right. Well, he'll be around you on that as well. Right? Have you had a problem choosing the particular color? There seems to be a debate as to which color you should have. Yeah. Well, he's saying is tell her to go with her instinct, which I said she probably would do anyway, wouldn't you? Yeah. Yes, we all finally meet the women that we know who are going to make the decisions around. He's come along to say hello to you. It's your mother. Your mother's here, or she's still here. Yeah. Father? Because a man has come alongside him, or there was another energy coming. They've now stood up. It's a man, right? And he had a very gentle side to him too, didn't he? A quiet side. Well, this is what he's giving me. So maybe he thought of himself completely different. Because I've got a man who is actually very protective. You know, don't let anybody say anything to any of my family. He would then come out and have a go over it. But I'm getting a strength with him, which he's bringing through for you. Because that's what you've been asking for from the world of spirit as well. Oh, no, maybe not from him, but he's here on that basis to tell you that they are listening to it and they are helping you. Although you will have to moderate as well, right? Because otherwise you too will burn out your batteries if you're not careful. So take their love and know that they're with you. Thank you very much. May I come to you, madam? Yes. They're very quick, yeah. I have a lady who's coming through, and I look at her and I look at you as your mother in the world of spirit. And there is a definite family resemblance, isn't there? In fact, all of you, she's just said all of the girls have the same sort of look. And that it is the devilment in the eyes that's the thing, isn't it? You can, so that they wind up very easily, wasn't it? not only yourselves, but everybody else, yes. Especially if they were daft enough to believe everything that you said. And I'm saying, don't mess around, madam, with me. But she's come through, yes, she's just bringing you a bit of sauce, she's saying, or sass, right? Because apparently there's been something going on around you at the moment, has required you to keep yourself very much on your toes as to how you answer people and what you ask or suggest to them. Because otherwise, I gather that they'd be quite happy to put their suckers on you and just draw out all your energy if you were not careful. But she's very aware of that. So that's the level of protection. You're actually at times now, you've always felt spirit, you've always been aware of spirit, but you're also beginning just recently to have that heat. It's not just the heat, there is the extra heat. That's her. She's stepping in to become more protective over you. So take her love, obviously. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you, madam? Thank you. Gentleman in the world of spirit. He will stand 5'10", quite a well-built man. He's coming on a very strong family link to you as well. I sense like a husband type energy.
No, I would say father.
Father. It's that protective aspect. And that's what he's come through, and he's coming through. Actually, he's got a bit of a twinkle in his eye as well. He could wind up the girls, couldn't he? Yes. And I said, he can't do that with me. He's supposed to behave himself, you see. And he said, not tonight. I can do as I please because you're here. Right? You and he got on quite well together, didn't you? Yeah. You had a rapport, a similar sense of humor, let's put it that way. And he's bringing through to you is a sense of calm, because things have been like, if I say up and down, very mixed at the moment. Some of which he tells me, with respect, is your own fault.
Probably,
Yes. He said, because they get to her and then she'll give in. Right? So from that point of view, he's really here just to say, well, you're going to live your life as you want to do so, right? And the spirit world is well aware of that. So from that point of view, just carry on, but do try to retain some energy for yourself. Because a lot of people depend on you, don't they? And you are the listening ear for a lot of people. And as much as you'd like to tell them what they should do, you moderate that completely, don't you? Yes. But it means that you're left with the problems. So from that point of view, he said, you want to space it out a little bit if you can. Take his love. Know that he's with you. Thank you. I've asked him if there's anything else he'd like to tell me, like a month or anything like that. And he looks at me as if I've gone round the twist, because he said the women deal with that.
Yes.
Yes. But on the other hand, he's just simply mentioned October. So there'll be a birthday or something in that. That's from him anyway. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you, young man? Thank you. I've seen you worked here. Yes. I'm asking who's with you, and there is quite a bandwagon there, isn't there, as well? You're quite a family in the world of spirit. Yeah. Apart from that, you have been, just recently, you have been asking the spirit world for more information. So your guides and teachers are also have amassed now, and I really don't need that, because we don't normally give those out because they're not provable, right? Other than for the fact that the energy that they're bringing through at the moment is for you to calm down and let the ability just mature in its own time, right? There's a lady now who's come through very strong. I sense it's like your grandmother in the world of spirit.
Great-grandmother.
Great. No, we don't usually go that far back, unless you knew her. Did you know her?
I didn't, but she's come through every time I come to her.
All right. Generally speaking, as I said, there's no point in going down the line if people have never met them. But what this lady is bringing through is rock solid stand. There must be something going on around you at the moment is requiring you to be very firm with some sort of an opinion. because it's not just you that is involved. There are other things going on. And a word like either a yes or a no you have been debating, let's put it that way. You've been weighing, it's like the scales apparently. She's showing me a set of scales. You're weighing up all aspects of your life. Some that you're deciding that you will get rid of, you don't need anymore. Others, how am I going to develop them, right? But there is a question of just living this life at the moment, at this time. The spirit will guide you as and when they want you to develop more or do something different. Likewise, I sense from you also, and for the gentleman alongside you, a healing aspect. I don't know whether both of you have ever considered healing. You have. But also for the gentleman next to you as well. That is a very strong emotion, and it is worthwhile trying, if you can, to get some practice on doing some healing, just the laying of our hands, and it is just that. You and I know you don't need to do that. You can send it out, and that's all there is to it. However, again, it is a question for you to become completely and utterly aware of all your emotions that you get when you're working with spirit, right? Because there are times when they will play around, won't they? Yes. You must learn to control. You, while here on the earth plane, you are the control factor. It's respect. That's what is done. You can have all the laughs, you can have all the fun. However, when you're actually working, they have to work with you and not mess around. Okay? So take their love on that. We will talk afterwards because I'd asked about your name because I wanted to talk to you the last time I saw you. So we will talk again. I will leave that with you for the moment. Sir, may I come to you? I have a young man here. He would have gone into the world of spirit somewhere in his 20s. He was quite tall and a very gentle sort of soul, but at the same time could be very robust, if you like. He's come through to simply say to you, calm down. There's some things you can deal with and some you can't. You're going to have to be much more critical and decide what it is you're prepared to fight on and others that you could just let to go. He said you can't keep going because you must be having a problem with your stomach. Yes, because that's what it's doing to you. It's knotting you up. You might not even be totally aware of the conflict that was in your own head and in your system. But at the same time, you do feel it, right? So it is a question of simply beginning to detach yourself, to buy yourself time to relax. He's come through. This young man seems to be, from what he's saying now, he is going to be working with you in the fullness of time when you decide to go down that road, right? I would suggest in your case too, for the moment, that you might consider the healing as a way through for you, because it is a calming energy anyway. And in giving it, you are strong enough to be able to pass it on. So thank you very much indeed for speaking to me. Now we have a long time. Now you've got two choices here, either a come again, or you can ask me questions. Anything, as long as it's not totally and utterly, totally personal, and I tell you that to mind your own business. But up until then, I would be prepared to answer most questions. How would you like me to deal with that?
They're kind of like kids in a schoolroom where you ask for participation and they just freeze like that.
That's exactly what I just did.
They're just like, nope.
Well, as I said, I don't work with my energy, you see. All I'm simply saying, once I stand up, I only begin to work with my own energy when I walk through the door again. I will come again, but I will come if I start with you then, right? This time, it was a lady, wasn't it? So I got to ask for a man. Okay. I do have, yes. Oh, there's a man who's just propped in. He's come up. He looks almost like a boxer, but he wasn't a boxer. He just had that physique, but he had a tremendous personality. He was the joker in the box, wasn't he? And that's what he's bringing through to you. He said a bit of laughter hasn't done you any harm at all, because he said it has been a bit dire and miserable. Never mind the sun shining, you know. He said he's come through as to say, look, you're doing all right, girl. Just trust yourself. You do know what you're doing, so enjoy yourself. He's not telling me who he is, but he obviously is very close to you. Yes. I'm getting music with him as well. Yes. And that's what he wants to give to you, is music. It will help you to relax just that little bit more. So thank you. I thanked him very much. And
Thank you.
yes, because he wouldn't have clipped me around the ear. He would imply he was going to do it, but he never actually did. Thank you very much. May I come back to you? Again, was it man or woman? Right. I'm asking if there's a lady then who's coming through. There's a lady who's not very tall. She's about my height. And when I say she was robust, that can be meant that she was slightly more curvaceous, but she was a very strong system. Let's put it that way. She was strong. She was very healthy, let's put it that way. Very healthy attitude as well about most things. Although there were, from what I'm gathering from her, she did have blips when you had to be very careful what you actually said to her. Otherwise, she could take you to pieces without any problems at all. Whereas normally she would have gone for a easy thing, peace and quiet and around, right? But if push came to shove, she tells me, these two are actually similar as well. It goes just too far and you will react. Yes. She seems through to say, just to take her love, and she's just mentioned something about milk. Can you drink milk? Not everybody can drink milk.
I don't like milk.
All right, well, she just said mention the milk. So that usually means that you may have to be a little bit more careful on your diet or something like that. Yes, all right. So they can come the awkward way through. But take her love and know that she's with you. Thank you very much indeed. I'll come this way again. Yes. Good evening to you again. It was a man, or it was a man? Okay. There's a lady coming through, and she's coming through very much like a sister. All right. And I have this sense of being very protective with regards to you. Not wrap you up in cotton wool or anything like that, but at the same time, I rather gather that you gave so much out to other people that you're not taking enough on board for yourself, making life a little bit more difficult. And again, did she like dancing? If you know who it was, right? Because that's all I'm getting is that energy, that massive energy for you. Take her love. You know that anyway. That the spirit world is watching over you, but you do have your own responsibilities. Thank you very much indeed. May I come to you again, please? Who was it?
It was a lady.
A lady, right. Your husband. He stands about 5'10"? Yeah. Well, I'm only 5'4.5". I like my half, so it'd be up to about here. I have a man who was quite a generous man, generous with his demeanor. Let's put it that way. He was not totally easygoing, but at the same time, he liked things to be fairly regular and easy and smooth. Yes, I have asked him what he's done with the documents that you are looking for. And he just, he thinks this is highly amusing. Yeah, but he's still giving it to me as he did months and months ago when you brought it up and he flashed in. They're in a drawer. If you put a drawer in, the top belongs to something else. It seems to be stuck. I said, I've told him, and I told him then that you've gone through just about everything, apart from getting down to the dump at the rubbish front. And he said, he doesn't know why you can't find them. Anyway.
Yeah, well, tell me when I'm there. Come to me.
Oh, no, he won't do that. No. He said, no, you'll only criticize him if he does that. No. Actually, you've had a few words to him about him anyway, haven't you? Towards him. He said, has she calmed down now? And I said, I think so. Yeah. To a certain extent. He's come through. Obviously, he's watching over you. It's still, right? And you have had some quite very near-miss type decisions to make. And you've gone, yes, no. He said she will make up her mind, but remind her that she's never really made a very bad decision, unless you exclude him. Well, at the moment, from what you called him over the years recently, he's not too sure. But he brings his love through to you. He watches over you. Have you had photographs and things moving?
No,
Stuff.
I was looking at the photographs that are out, but
No, he gave me the impression that they've been just moved around a little bit. Don't worry about that.
oh, yes, today I've been moving.
All right.
In one of the rooms, I've been moving the photograph. I've been around the room.
Well, he was there. He's not highly impressed with that. He said, you can't get rid of me that way. Anyway, take his love and know that he's with you. Thank you. Sir, I had a man, didn't I? I have that look. You have that look on your face. It had to be a man. So I've got to now ask who else is with you. Is your mother in the world of spirit? But your grandmother obviously is. And she would again been about my height. But there wasn't a man in the family who would take her on. If she said no, she meant it, didn't she? And if she clipped you around the ear, you knew you had been clipped around the ear. And she wants to know what you're playing at the moment. What is it about speeding? He said, she's just said he'll go up to all reasons to try to convince you he doesn't speed. Have you had motorbikes? Yeah, because she's just given me a motorbike, yes. So that is an indication as far as she's talking about that speed, you see. Yes. What is... I know. Well, there are when you speed anyway, aren't they? Yes. The lady that I have here she had a bit of a weak spot for you. You got away with more than most of them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you were cheeky with it.
Yeah.
Yes. But at least you'd eat anything she put down.
To a certain extent.
Well,
It was an incident.
Right. Anyway, she's come along to say you have to continue to behave yourself. Because a lady alongside you requires you to do that. Yeah. So the women in the family will control you in the end. Especially now that they're in the world of spirit, let's put it that way. I rather gathered from her that she liked with you that cheeky attitude that you had to living. Take it or leave it. I'll do what I want, right? And in many ways, all you were doing was actually expressing what she would have done had she have had the atmosphere around her. Because there's a whole generation of women who might have been mediums, but who could never mention it. And she did have that ability. Yes. And it was still not, you couldn't talk about it, you couldn't do anything about it because it was considered really way off. That's all right, but not many people would have known about it. So take her love. She's still with you. She's still watching over you. So I would tread carefully if I were you as well. Yeah. My count of the day. Thank you. Man or woman? Who was? You want? There is a man coming towards me. He's not very tall. He wouldn't be not much taller than me, about 5'6", and quite well built. Not fat, but he carried a bit of weight. And I get the sense of he was also very good with his hands, because he's sort of doing this and moving his hands around. He's coming as a very close member of the family, but not a member of the family, a close member of the family. He might have been someone that you knew as a child who would have come in to do odd jobs, because I rather gather that's what he did. Okay, bear with me. I'm asking who else is alongside him, because they never come alone. There's always more around. This man would have been doing odd jobs for the family when you were growing up, right? But he's come through because he's talking about you as a young girl who was quite quiet and went about what she did. Not totally studious, but at the same time did think before she spoke, right? The lady who's come alongside him is your grandmother. Yeah. She would about the same height as him almost. And she's come through. She is a very strong woman. She knew him, right? So you'll remember him because he comes out of your childhood, right? What they're came through, or what he's through to at the moment, there must be some small jobs that you want doing, which are just beginning to pile up, and they're beginning to get on your nerves. Yes. It is a question of exercising your will. And if you do that, they will get done, because I'm told that you are actually very organized when you choose to be so. But most of the time, you would prefer people just to do what they said they were going to do, and you didn't have to chase them. Right? So from that point of view, now, I'm also getting a very strong sense of mediumship with you as well. Are you now interested in mediumship? Yeah. Sorry?
I am.
No, you choose your time. As I said, I wasn't interested for years. Didn't matter what they said. So the ball is in your court. However, every now and again, apparently from the joint of these two people alongside me, is that you question it. And you question, is this correct? Am I seeing this? Am I hearing this? Am I feeling this? And in fact, you are. But for every time you dissect it, so much the better. Thank you very much indeed. You have a tremendous energy around you. You send out healing a lot, don't you? You wish people the best, don't you? You have no angst on that. And that's what I sense coming out. Thank you very much indeed for that. May I come again to you, madam? Who was it I had with you? A tall man. Right. A younger woman went into the world of spirit? Someone who might have been only in their late 20s, early 30s? And when I look at you, I can see a family resemblance. She might have been a cousin to you. I have a young woman who went into the world of spirit, late 20s, early 30s. She's not telling me, but she was slender and she was quite tall, and she had a very calming influence about her.
There was someone, but it wasn't someone that I knew myself. I know.
Well, that's
what would have been an auntie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the fact that if she's in any way connected, because I usually just work with that. I'm asking her why she's come through for you as well. Apparently, she's showing me now a piano. Do you play the piano?
I used to.
All right, because that's what it's the love of music, right? Just to be able to sit and immerse yourself in it is to calm you down, because apparently she's telling me that you can get quite steamed up over things. And all it does, it means that you don't sleep very well, right? So she's just come through, just as a memory to you now, and she brings through music for you as a form of relaxation. Thank you very much indeed. May I come again, madam? Another gentleman coming through. Obviously your father's in the world of spirit. And he was quite a straightforward man, was he not? He spoke his mind, but he was never being deliberately rude. Not unless he didn't like you. Yes. And I get he had a very strong inner strength. This is what I'm getting. And that's what he's bringing through to you. Because he tells me that from time to time, you doubt yourself. In other words, you won't go with your first thoughts. Yes. And then you create a problem for yourself, because then you begin to dissect everything. Right? And now he's coming through, and apart from saying very well done, because it's not a bad idea to do just that, right? But it does take up a lot of it takes up more of your energy than you actually need to expend. He's now showing me, it's as if I'm in Halloween time. I've got apples, with stuff on them. What do you call them?
Toffee apples.
Toffee apples. That's what he's brought through to you, right? No, I gather that what he's using that is as like Halloween, is that you do like people around you. You do like to have fun. And that's, again, he wants you to sort of try and, if you can add a bit more into your life, right? Because he said it's, otherwise you get very bored. Yes. And he said that's not a good idea for you to get bored. Are you doing some writing, by the way? He's showing me an A4 pad and a pen is going across it. The use of words, the use of dialogue for you? No, this is more than that. You take a word and you will work it out, what it means. You're actually quite precise in your usage of the language.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm asking him why he's doing that, why he's showing me that. There's usually one of two reasons. You may actually have a letter to write or a form to fill in. But generally speaking, it means that you will consider whatever it is that you're doing. And it may even be your shopping list for all I know, because he's not telling me. In other words, you'll give due consideration to anything that you write down. Yeah. So take his love. Thank you very much indeed. Now I'm going to come to the other. A little girl in the world of spirit? All right. I've just seen a little girl run towards me. Okay, I'm asking her for the moment. I'm just talking to her. She's here to bring you a bit of nonsense, right? To allow you to begin to feel foolish sometimes, right? I'm asking, I can't take the child on its own sort of thing, so I'm asking who is with her. There is another lady who's coming through, and she would have gone into the spirit world at a fairly young age. She would have maybe been in her 40s or early 50s. She's coming through very much on the vibe of an aunt for you, right? And what she's bringing through to you is light, right? And it's almost like a spotlight for you. So you must have been recently asking a lot of questions. You talk to spirit, don't you, as well? Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter when you start. The main thing is you're doing. It's like a spotlight is being given to you, right? So it's going to be very interesting that which does mature from your thinking, right? Apart from the fact that you, for some of the time, you think that's total nonsense, that can't be right, that just does not work like that. And then you will find as time goes on that there will be certain aspects that will click into spot. It's just, but the lady is telling me that you do not like to be discomforted. So I have to give you that. But the spirit world is very interested in what you are coming up with. Thank you very much indeed. So may I then come back to you. And who did we have before?
Had a breakdown, but then it changed to guides.
Yeah, that's because they wanted to come across. A gentleman in the world of spirit, an older man, like a grandfather, who lost height before he passed over. And I sensed that he was also somewhat stooped. he could be a bit, I wanted to use the word sharp, but that's not quite what he's trying to get across. He could be very straightforward at times. Otherwise, he would talk in riddles to get across a point, let's put it that way. He's just come through and he's now standing alongside me. He's straightened up. He's not as he was before he passed over. But I get with him is a sense of strength, pure, utter strength of mind. He knew exactly what he was doing. He may not have at the very end, but for the greater part of his time, when he spoke, he did straightforward, no problems. So that's what he's bringing through to you, is clarity of speech, clarity of diction, and delivery. So I've thanked him for coming through, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. No, I don't mind. It's awfully kind of you, Wheeler. I really do appreciate this woman is moving over like she does. Be good enough to join me in the closing. Divine, eternal creator, higher spirits, guides, teachers, and all of the loved ones and friends who came through to work with me this evening, I thank you for your time and your energy and your love. I would ask for one further favor, that everyone here travel safely to their homes and that their families are protected until such times as we should meet again. Amen.